Good morning, preschool parents. Today is Friday, the 5th of February, so it's the end of the second week here at school, although, of course, for some of our preschoolers, they would have only actually attended for 1 week due to the public holidays last week. I wanted to catch up with everybody to have a bit of a conversation around how the preschool runs, because it's actually quite different to the school, and we have one set of requirements for the school in relation to management and also to the curriculum, and we have to comply with a whole other set of regulations with regards to preschool curriculum and preschool management. And as a school, we have to try to marry those together to create a model that works for all. And that's been fairly significantly complicated by COVID. Now, Jackie will be putting all this together in a welcome to preschool type letter, which will go home the next couple of days. But this video will help get us off on the right foot. And with a bit of luck, there should be a QR code on the note just up the top here, which will link you to the video in any case. Now, you would have twigged that we've got a fairly significant sign-in process happening out on the street. And the reason for that is both the Department of Education need to be able to track who is on the site at any time, and also to make sure that everybody declares that they are well and have no COVID symptoms. We need to be able to access that data immediately. And the data that we hold is held here at school, so that should there be an issue, I can grab that straight away. And the way we're doing that is via the green QR code. The other QR code that we've got is the Service New South Wales code. And that's a government requirement that relates to the whole of government. And for that reason, they don't exactly talk to each other, but I think that what we've got set up should work for most people. So what's important is that each morning, everybody scans both the Service New South Wales code and also the Department of Education code, which is in green because that's our school colours. And we need both of those, and that needs to be shown to a staff member on your way in. Now, if the QR code reader on your phone is playing up or there's an issue, as you've twigged, I've got my iPad, which I did borrow from a Year 6 student, and I can help with those sign-ins. But as you've probably noticed, it takes a fair bit of time, and it creates a bit of a jam out the front. And one of our agendas, of course, is to maintain social distancing. So it's important that we're not all huddled together in that same space. In the same reason, I'm trying to make sure that people get into the preschool in a way that doesn't create congestion up in the actual preschool. So it's important that as we come past the gate, that you go to the preschool, and the drop and run at the preschool really does need to be a drop and run. So, get in there, get your child signed in, and then leave. The reality is that Jackie doesn't really have time in that mix to have in-depth conversations about what's going on about each individual child. However, she's very responsive and will get back to you very reliably. If you tell her that you need to catch up with her, she can give you a call, or she can communicate with you easily via the Story Park app. Now, it's an app that we've used here for a few years. It's available for both Apple and Android. And up on the screen here, I've just gone into the Google Play Store so you can see what the app looks like. Basically, you can get it for any sort of phone. Go to your Play Store or your App Store, type in Story Park, and you can install that. And then you can associate it, in fact, with our school. Jackie posts information up there about what's happening in preschool, but as well as that, she can have a communication between individual parents and individual students. And it just helps to make life a little bit more streamlined in a fairly busy school environment. So I'd encourage you to go and do that. I'm sure Jackie will be talking to you about that shortly, but we've found it's worked very well in the past. And it's a good way of helping to manage the need for those interactions, but recognising that the preschool is a busy place, and that particularly at the moment where having a lot of adults on sites is problematic for us, you can keep in contact with Jackie and to know what's going on. In the afternoon, particularly if you've got students in our school here between years kindergarten and Year 6, they will be bundled up and will be waiting for you in the courtyard between my room and the preschool. Those students need to wait out there. They can't go into the preschool. There's a whole set of regulations about who's allowed in the preschool and who's not, as well as some of those social distancing rules. So they will need to wait out there. So the best model is as you arrive, to go into the preschool, collect your child, then on the way back out, have your other children there, and you can come out past me at Copeland Road. And the timing of the visits is also really important. As you probably noticed in the morning, we end up with a fairly long line out front, and it creates a bit of congestion. It's good fun having a chat, of course, but we are all standing there and all the kids are trying to get past us to get into the schoolyard. So the preschool doesn't actually open until 9. So even though I will often start sort of sending people through at 8:45, the reality is that we can't take responsibility for students before 9 o'clock with preschoolers, and of course preschoolers do have to be dropped off by parents. So there's very, very little point in arriving early. It's much, much better to get up there about 10 to 9. If you've got your sign-in organised, then I'll let you through one at a time just to ease congestion up in the preschool for both COVID reasons, but also to make it easier for Jackie and her staff to manage what happens, and then we can get you off and away. And by the same token, in the afternoon, not a lot of point arriving very early, because obviously I need to be out there to help the sign on and to manage some of those things. You know, I need to balance that between my other whole school responsibilities. I can't get out there too early in the afternoon. So the best time up there is around 20 to 3, because the students will start to be mustered, particularly the ones that are going to be waiting there for their preschool peers, will start to be mustered around 2:45. So it means that they actually might not be there if you're here too early. So I know that's quite a lot of stuff to remember. Jackie will put all the other important stuff together in the note, you know, about lunches and things to bring and all that sort of stuff. But I'm hoping that we can get through all of our routine stuff fairly quickly. We don't know the longevity of the COVID planning. We're waiting on advice from the department at this stage. So from all of us here at Lethbridge Park Public School, we hope you have a great weekend, and we look forward to catching up next week.